Your favorite couple's highlight reel just burst into flames and the smoke is absolutely toxic. You spent years worshipping their staged romance and envying a life that was actually a high-end mental cage. Tonight, the internet is melting because Teddy finally grew a spine and did the unthinkable. He's exposing the decade of fraud that you fell for. With messy tears and zero chill, Teddy is spilling the terrifying tea about what Tina was hiding once the ring light turned off. This isn't just some gossip. It's a dark disaster masked by expensive filters and fake giggles. This secret was so massive it was literally choking the man who spent years protecting her brand. Watching Teddy talk is like seeing a mental breakdown in 4K. It's jagged, pathetic, and dangerously honest. Buckle up. This isn't your basic celeb gossip. This is a massive funeral for every lie they told. By the end, you won't just be gagged, you'll be mourning the trauma they hid behind total silence. Because the truth doesn't just set you free, sometimes, it nukes your entire fake world. They say the worst part of lying is actually having to maintain the act. For a decade, Teddy and Tina were the cringy gold standard of a fake fairytale. They were the influencers who made you feel single and poor, seemingly surviving the Hollywood circus with their souls and sponsorships intact. We binged their vlogs, hearted every post, and treated their fake milestones like our own reality. But while we were distracted by the aesthetic, we missed the massive rot in the foundation. Teddy's voice, usually loud and full of that fake alpha energy, was a shaky, pathetic whisper during this recording. He looked like he'd been through a blender, carrying a heavy burden that would have snapped anyone else years ago. He confessed that for 10 years, he hasn't just been a spouse, legally or not, he's been babysitting a ghost. The legend of Teddy and Tina was marketed as a total success story, but Teddy claims that inside their glass mansion, the silence was actually screaming. He paints the perfect image not as a vibe, but as a toxic brand Tina was willing to kill for. Every scripted smile for the vlog was followed by hours of icy, hateful isolation. Every loud public post about love was followed by a secret war that Teddy was legally gagged from mentioning. He details the nights he spent rotting on the hallway floor, listening to Tina sob behind a locked door, helpless because she refused to look human. She was terrified that if the stans saw her struggling, their entire cash cow would die. But in saving the brand, Teddy says they actually lost their damn minds. The drama started simmering in the tiny, quiet glitches that the fans never noticed. Teddy remembers times where the stress of being goals got so bad that Tina would literally glitch and shut down for days. He exposes the massive financial rot of funding a life meant to flex on strangers while their private world was a total wreck. There were moments of high-stakes drama where Teddy begged her to quit the clout, to just be normal again, but the high of the fame and the terror of being irrelevant were too addictive. His talking about hidden wars that weren't about cheating or drugs, but about the slow, painful death of a woman's soul. He watched the girl he loved evaporate, replaced by a hollow mannequin who only lived for the camera flash. As the years dragged on, the lies got way too heavy. Teddy explains there were glitch moments in public that the stans actually caught, a weird look, a hand pulled away, but whenever he tried to fix it, the PR script took over. Tina was the queen of the pivot, turning her actual mental pain into a relatable post that hid how bad things really were. Teddy's messy reveal is a scary reminder that you only see what the filter allows. He admits he stayed quiet because he was a simp, but he finally saw that his silence was actually destroying her. He wasn't her protector, he was an accomplice in her mental prison. This chapter isn't just about a divorce, it's about realizing you can have millions of followers and still be totally, miserably alone. The vibe got even darker as Teddy dragged us into the basement of their private nightmare. If the first half was about the lies, part 2 is about the brutal, soul-sucking cost of keeping them alive. Teddy describes a time he calls the dark winter, where the gap between their viral success and private hell reached a total breaking point. While the world watched them win awards and ink 8-figure deals, Teddy was trapped in a mansion that felt like a luxury tomb. He reveals that Tina's obsession with being perfect turned into a dangerous break from reality. She became a hostage to her own clout, and Teddy was the only one watching her drown in a world where she couldn't tell real life from a TikTok. One of the most savage details Teddy dropped was about the empty nursery. For years, the comments were flooded with baby questions, which felt like literal knives to Teddy's chest. He exposes that behind the scenes, this was a massive source of trauma. Tina was absolutely terrified that a baby would ruin her body and, more importantly, her hot brand. She feared motherhood would make her look weak in an industry that eats vulnerability for breakfast. Teddy describes the nights they screamed about a future she traded for an Instagram grid. He details the depressing sight of a fully decorated baby room that stayed locked for 3 years, a room for a kid Tina wouldn't let into her fake world. It wasn't a nursery, It was a grave for their future. But the drama didn't stop at their fake family goals. Teddy exposes the financial mirage that kept them chained to a lifestyle they couldn't actually afford. He claims Tina took out massive, shady loans just to fund the flex, the jets, the bags, the parties. It was a vicious debt spiral fueled by her need to look richer than everyone else. Teddy admits he felt like a getaway driver in a massive, 10-year fraud. He describes the pure terror in Tina's eyes whenever a brand deal ended or a check didn't clear. The pressure to look wealthy was so toxic that she ghosted everyone who actually cared, terrified they'd see the broke soul hiding behind all the rented diamonds. The whole facade finally exploded during a European trip that they faked was a second honeymoon. To the Stans, it was a dream of yacht parties and sunset dinners. But Teddy calls it a 10-day trip to hell. He recalls a night in Paris where Tina literally collapsed from the stress of acting. Instead of getting a medic, her first move was checking if a paparazzi caught her looking bad. She was more scared of an unflattering photo than she was of her own body failing. That was when Teddy realized his wife was gone. She'd been replaced by a persona. He describes the hidden war of realizing the woman you die for is just a ghost haunted by the fear of being unfollowed. As Teddy chokes up, you realize their life wasn't a flex, it was a tragedy. The vibe of the exposed just shifted from sad to straight-up haunting. Teddy's voice isn't just shaky anymore. It's the sound of a man who's seen a ghost. He describes the exact moment the golden cage finally snapped, and it wasn't some cinematic explosion. It was a terrifying, hollow thud. It happened on a random rainy Tuesday while Tina was obsessing over the ring light for another fake promo. But the mask didn't just slip this time. It shattered into a million jagged pieces. Teddy calls it the 1,000-yard stare, a moment where the girl he loved looked right through him like he was just another piece of background furniture in her curated aesthetic. He finally drops the most guarded secret of all, the secret ledger. This wasn't just a book of debts, it was a physical notebook Tina used to literally script their private lives. Teddy found it hidden under the floorboards of her dressing room, and it made his blood turn to ice. He realized every impromptu fight, every midnight apology, and even their most intimate whispers had been rehearsed. Tina was so addicted to control that she couldn't handle spontaneity. She scripted their entire marriage so that if a hot MIC ever caught them, the narrative would still protect the brand. Teddy wasn't a husband, he was an unpaid actor in a 24/7 production he didn't even know was filming. This revelation is where Teddy finally loses it on camera. He talks about the betrayal of reality. When he confronted her with the script, hoping for a shred of humanity or a cry for help, Tina didn't cry. She didn't apologize. She just coldly asked how he found it and if he'd leaked it to their PR team. That was the intense turning point. Teddy realized the woman he married was buried so deep under Tina the icon that she was effectively dead. He describes the skin-crawling feeling of realizing he was sleeping next to a total stranger who saw their love as a strategic partnership. It wasn't about saving a marriage anymore. It was a desperate fight to save his own sanity. Teddy then details his final ultimatum. He begged her to delete the clout, sell the mansion, and go somewhere where they could just be anonymous and heal. He offered her a real life. But Tina's reaction was the ultimate villain origin story. She looked at him with a gaze that froze his soul and told him she'd rather be hated by millions than be invisible to everyone. It was the ultimate digital tragedy. She was more addicted to the attention of strangers than the heartbeat of her husband. That's when Teddy knew he had to run, not for revenge, but for survival. He was drowning in her ocean of vanity, and she was using him as a lead anchor. As the video wraps, Teddy looks straight into the lens, eyes red and wrecked. He tells the Stans that the Tina they worship is a masterpiece of fiction, a ghost haunting a digital tomb. He claims he's speaking out now not to cancel her, but to stop the lie from breathing another second. He's done watching the world envy a tragedy. He ends with a warning that will stay with you forever. Be careful who you idolize, because some people are so busy building a pedestal that they don't realize they've turned it into a tomb. The reveal is over, the filter is gone, and all that's left is the raw, bleeding truth of a man who lost his life to a lie. This disaster doesn't end when you close the tab. It leaves a massive question mark on your own life. How many of us are living a light version of Tina's nightmare? How many of us are faking a smile for a camera while our real world is burning down? Teddy didn't do this for the views, he did it to reclaim his soul, and is asking you to look in the mirror. If this expose hit you hard, if you felt Teddy's trauma or the ice in Tina's silence, then don't just scroll away. We need to get loud about this. In a world of fake perfection, your unedited voice is the only real power you have. Does Teddy deserve a fresh start, or did he snake the woman he was supposed to protect? Was Tina the ultimate villain, or just another victim of an algorithm that loves likes more than human lives? Drop a comment right now and scream your truth. This is a safe space for the messy reality, no matter how much it hurts. Your words might be the wake-up call someone else needs today. If you want the stories that actually matter, the ones that strip the glamour to find the rot underneath, then join the squad. Smash that subscribe button and ring the bell. We don't just report the news, we track the heartbeat of the stories the industry is too terrified to touch. Don't let the algorithm feed you lies. Be part of a community that hunts for the truth. Share this with someone who needs to know they aren't alone in the struggle. Thanks for sticking with us and having the guts to face the truth. Until next time, look after yourselves, and more importantly, look after each other. The mask is finally off, and now, the healing can actually begin.